everyone. So River's come to, don't know why she's up there, but she's decided to come and watch. It's her favourite spot. Making a really big vase today. So with big bits of clay, you tend to plonk them on the wheel like so, and then you slap them, get all that energy in there. That's right, Riv. Hey, River? She doesn't like this bit. She really doesn't like this bit. But you slap them, get them nicely attached to the wheel, centre them up as much as you can, and now we're going to go for it. So get some water on there, elbows tucked in nice and tight, pushing the clay, feeling it. At this stage I'm just sort of gently centering, and then I'm going to cone it. So pushing, getting those elbows nicely locked. And normally I sit really close to the wheel, but because I have to put so much pressure on, I'm sort of backing away a bit. And up she goes, or he, depending on what you call or name your clay. Here we go. Nicely cone it up. That's it, all the way. If it's a bit at the top, just get rid of it. And now we're gonna go down. So elbow into your body somewhere where it's comfortable, pushing against it. Make sure you get enough water, because otherwise the clay will just torque onto your hands and it will come off. So lots of pressure needed here, and I'm not going really fast, because normally I'd go really fast when I'm, going up and down and centering, and but because it is such a big body to begin with, I just take it nice and gentle. So now we're going to cone it again. This time I'm going to stand up, I think, because it is quite big. So all the, my thighs are really tight, back straight, and then I'm pushing in to get that up and cone it nicely. There we go. Get rid of this last bit on here. And I'm going to get back my towel. So do like a towel to wipe my hands on. So this base is too wide. Let's push that base in a bit. And now we're going to go a bit faster. Right, so I've got a little bit of skirt at the bottom, so I'm just going to get rid of that, because if you leave too much skirt on the clay, you're going to end up with the clay not sort of collecting up as you throw. So some parts of your pot will be much taller than the other. So that's all nice and clean at the bottom. I'm going to come down just a little bit more. feel the clay just all of a sudden, it's all silky, slipping through your hands without any effort. Got a bit of a wobble on this bat. Okay, so and I tend to, another thing I do is I close my eyes to actually feel that it's centered. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now the thing about clay work, oh, bye Riv. The thing about clay work is when you centre or when you're working, never take your hand off the clay or your sponge off the clay when you're reducing speed. So I reckon that's quite a nice speed to throw out. Right, so I find the centre. Oh look, there's a bit of an air bubble at the top there, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So if I just keep going backwards and forwards, you can hear it pops in. Yeah, there it is. Nice little pop. Now, because I've done that, I'm going to just make sure it's nicely centered still. So sponge on the side, left, because I'm right-handed, although at school I started left-handed, but it was a thing back then that everyone had to be right-handed, so it caused a few problems. So I'm going to go to the center, go down. So I do this in stages, keep centering. I'm going to go down again. Good. And now I'm going to pull the clay out. But I don't want it to get any fatter at the base, so I'm actually going to keep my hand on the base. So down I go, a bit more. To me, opening up, centre it again. Oh dear, that was a big sniff. And all I'm doing is smoothing the bottom for the moment. Even though I'll smooth it again, I quite like to do that. Right, because we're going up vertical, we cone it in again, and we need speed for that. So I'm going to do a power pull. Get that nicely up. Cylinders are always coned in before you can work with them. So I'm coning her in, that's it, and then I'm making sure it's all on centre. Now when you do this coning up, you don't want too much clay at the top, because you might end up collapsing your pot. So I just do a tiny little pull at the top. And when you do this coning, you will displace the clay in such a way that you end up with a bit of displacement at the top sometimes. So I'm going to slow this down just a bit. So I'm making a bit of a an undercut there with the sponge. So I'm going to collect that clay underneath, and I'm going to make a small little shelf. And what that's going to allow me to do is pull some more clay up. Some clay somehow, so doing another power pull, as they're commonly known. Right, it's all nice and wet inside, so I'm going to slow that down even more. The thing about going tall is you don't want to be going too fast, otherwise you end up collapsing your pot. So here we go. So it's squeezing. Here we go. Going up, and I'm going to go towards the centre as I pull. Here we go. And then we cone it again, so for that we need to go a bit faster. A little bit faster than that. And then I use my fingers, like so, just going up. Right, so slow down again. Now we're going to have to stand up for this. Now it's feeling a bit on the dry side, so if you put the water on your hand, it'll get all that water up. You get it'll be all nice and wet inside. So here we go again, in, squeezing. Up we go, in we go, up we go, in we go, there we go. Right, so here we go again. So nice looking pot. Just feeling a bit dry on the side again. So let's get that going. Nice and wet. I'm going to collar it. It's called collaring in. I'm going to collar it in again. There we go. Right, so oops, get that down out of the way. So I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Let's go again. All nice and wet. Nice and wet on the inside. So pushing in at the bottom. And squeezing. And up I come. There we go. Go inwards at the top. Now the reason you have it in at the top, it actually keeps the integrity of the. You're gonna have to excuse me because I have a bit of a problem with my speech. I stutter basically. Some words just won't come out. So I'm going to cone that in again. So let's have a bit of speed. Whoa! Didn't like that, did it? Oh dear. What's happening there? Sort of going off centre a bit. Nice and slow. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. There she is. So she's happy again. Right, so we'll do another pull, I think, before we start shaping. Right, so because my arm's all the way in, I'm going to wet it, because you don't want the pot to catch on your skin. I'm also going to get that out of the way. So here we go. Collecting the clay, and up I go. Here she goes. Up we go. Up we go. Up we go. And this time I'm giving the pot a little bit of shape. There she goes. Looking for a bit of a sure it's nice and wet on the inside. So here we go. And up she goes. There we go. Up we go. In we go. And I'm going to give it a bit of a collar just to make sure the shape stays. Right, at this point, I stand away and I look at my pot and decide what I'm going to do. Get some of that crud off. So my throwing now will all be done standing up, because obviously it's quite tall, and I want to try and make it a little bit taller if I can. So all I'm doing is wetting the inside. So this elbow, right elbow's tight against my body, and here I go.